The angels are speaking to you with gentleness and truth. They want you to know that your feelings, your intuition, and the quiet stirrings in your heart have not been wrong. You have been sensing something shifting, something happening beneath the surface that you could not see with your eyes, but could deeply feel in your spirit. You may have wondered if it was only your imagination, or if the prayer you whispered at 11:11 was truly heard by God and the universe. The angels now confirm that your inner knowing was right. At the sacred moment of 11:11, your special person made an important decision. They broke ties with someone or something that no longer belonged in their life. This act was not random, nor was it just about ending a connection. It was part of a greater plan, a divine movement that was necessary for their healing, freedom, and the sacred bond between you and them. For a long time, your person had been carrying heavy burdens. They had been silently enduring pain, confusion, and responsibilities that no longer brought them peace. Their soul was tired from giving too much while receiving little in return. They were weighed down by guilt, disappointment, and the expectations of others. Yet, through it all, they continued to hold on, hoping something would change. They believed that if they just gave more of themselves, things would heal. But the truth is that their soul was calling for freedom, for truth, and for real love, the kind that lifts, not drains. The angels were always near them, quietly guiding them, waiting for the right moment when divine timing would align. That moment came at 11:11. At that sacred hour, the energy of the universe opened a door, and your person had the courage to walk through it. The breaking of ties did not happen with noise or chaos. Instead, it happened quietly but powerfully. It was an act of reclaiming their own spirit, choosing themselves, and choosing truth. In that moment, they let go of what no longer fit their soul and created space for what is real and aligned. By ending what drained them, they also honored the silent bond they share with you. Their choice was not just about letting go of the past. It was about stepping closer to their true path, a path that leads to you, the one who has been silently supporting them with love, prayers, and faith. Your person's journey to this decision was not easy. It required strength, courage, and a willingness to face their deepest fears. They had been carrying wounds they never showed the world, but still, when the right time arrived, they stood tall. They finally said no more to what was limiting them. They chose freedom, even though it was hard. They chose authenticity, even though it required letting go of familiar patterns. And most of all, they chose love that feels like home, love that accepts them as they are, rather than demanding that they become someone else. You, dear soul, were part of this sacred moment. Your prayers, your love, and your quiet faith have been a source of strength for them. Even in times when you doubted the connection, your energy surrounded them like unseen protection. Every time you prayed at 11:11, every time you whispered love into the silence, your soul was reaching them. And at that exact divine moment, their soul responded. They broke free. The angels want you to know that although your person has taken this brave step, the journey is still unfolding. On the outside, you may not yet see all the changes. There may still be delays, confusion, or traces of the past echoing in their life. But do not let these illusions make you doubt. So much has shifted beneath the surface. Your person is healing, rebuilding their strength, and learning to stand in their own power. They are no longer willing to live in shadows. They are preparing to meet you in truth. This is not just about them. It is also about you. You too have been waiting, holding faith through silence and storms. You have faced your own doubts, your own weariness, and your own questions about whether love is worth the wait. The angels now tell you that your patience is being rewarded. The seeds you planted through prayer and faith are beginning to bloom. Their breaking of ties was not just their victory. It was also a sign for you. It means your waiting was not in vain. It means that divine timing is working and love is being written in your story. The angels ask you now to trust. Trust even when you cannot yet see the full picture. Trust that miracles sometimes arrive quietly, not with fireworks, but with gentle courage. Your special person has chosen to walk the path that leads to their true self, and that path also leads to you. You are not two broken souls trying to rescue each other. You are two whole beings, doing your inner work, preparing to come together in strength, clarity, and divine alignment. The moment at 11:11 was a turning point. It was a moment of divine orchestration, where heaven and earth aligned to guide your person's soul into freedom. It was a signal that what once chained them has been broken, and that their heart is now free to follow truth. They may still be processing the depth of what they have done. They may still need time to heal and rebuild. But what matters most is that the decision has been made. The old door has closed. A new chapter has begun. The angels remind you that this is not the time for fear. It is the time for faith. You are being asked to prepare your heart for reunion. You are being asked to keep hope alive, to believe that the love you have carried is not lost. You are being asked to trust that the universe is working quietly but powerfully to bring you together. Your person's decision at 11:11 was also a reflection of your strength. You may not realize it, but your love has been a guiding light in their journey. Even when they could not express it, they felt it. Even when you questioned it, your bond was real. Now, as they step into their freedom, they are also stepping closer to you. Every bold choice they make now is another step toward the life you are meant to share. The angels see your bravery. They know how long you have carried love without certainty, how you have faced silence without giving up. They bless you now with patience, hope, and the assurance that you are closer than ever before. You are being guided step by step toward the love that has always been part of your destiny. At 11:11, your person did not just break ties with someone. They broke ties with fear, with limitation, with false obligations. They chose to live their truth, and in doing so, they opened the way for a love that is real, sacred, and eternal. This is a love that will not demand pieces of you, but will honor the whole of you. It will not keep you waiting in uncertainty forever. It is unfolding, even now, with every heartbeat, every choice, every step guided by divine timing. So breathe, dear soul. Rest your heart in the knowledge that what you felt was real. The angels confirm that your intuition, your prayers, and your love have been working. Your person is on their way home, not because you forced them, but because love always calls us back to truth. You are loved. You are seen. You are guided. The angels walk with you both, blessing every step. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the love, for it is already written in the stars. The angels are speaking to you with kind, clear words. They want you to know the simple truth first. Yes, your special person did break ties at 11:11. That moment mattered. It was not random. It was not a small, careless thing. It was a choice made inside their heart, a choice to end what was holding them back so they could move toward what is true. This breaking of ties was not about spite or drama. It was about honesty and freedom. It was about removing the heavy things that kept their spirit small, so that their life could make room for what is honest, real, and healing. The angels want you to feel that this decision was sacred. It was a step taken with care and with inner wisdom. It was a step that began a new chapter, one that slowly brings them closer to the life and love that fits who they truly are and who you truly are to them. For a long time, your special person lived with confusion, duty, and fear. They put on a face for others. They tried to keep promises that no longer felt right. They stayed in roles and habits that squeezed the life out of their joy. Inside, though, their heart was tired. They felt the pull towards something truer, but were afraid to leave what was known. That fear came not because they did not want better, but because leaving the familiar often feels like stepping into darkness. The angels say that this person was not careless. They were caught between what others expected and what their soul quietly wanted. They moved slowly because that inner choice required courage. It required the courage to say no to old patterns and yes to a fresh start. When 11:11 arrived, something in them reached a point of readiness. The veil felt thinner, the voice inside them louder. They could see more clearly what was real and what was worn out. At that hour, they listened to their higher self. They felt the balance tip toward truth. They decided to untie the threads that no longer fit their life. That decision asked them to be honest with themselves. It asked them to accept responsibility for their own happiness. It asked them to stop living to please others and to start living in a way that honors their soul. This was a quiet, deep choice, not a scene or a shout, but a resolute inner turning away from what was false. You played a beautiful part in this. Even when it looked like distance or silence, your steady love was a presence for them. Your prayers, your patience, the way you kept hope alive without bitterness, all of that mattered in ways you may never fully see. The angels honor your faith. Your bedrock belief in the goodness and truth of their soul helped hold the space they needed. You were a steady light. When they felt lost, your quiet trust was like a lighthouse in the fog. That is why the angels call you a keeper of the flame. You kept the light burning. You did not demand or push. You waited and prayed and trusted. That waiting was not wasted. It was active in the unseen world. Your love was an invisible support that wrapped their heart and gave them strength to change. This change does not mean the road ahead will be instant or easy. There will still be healing to do. There will still be things that must be cleared, conversations that may need honesty, and wounds that need soft care. But the hardest step, the decision to leave what no longer served, has already been taken. With that step, the heavy weight that stopped them from growing has begun to fall away. The illusions that blurred their sight are loosening. They are learning to sense what is real. They are learning to place value on their own truth. That learning takes time, but the ground has shifted. Now they can move forward in ways they could not before. Trust is what the angels ask of you now. Trust the invisible work that is happening. Trust that what was decided at 11:11 keeps moving. Even when you cannot see the full picture, trust that the inner tides are changing. Your special person is not the same as before. They are coming out of a long, quiet season of inner work. They are stepping into a clearer version of themselves. They may still be cautious. They may still hold back with words until they are sure. But their heart is moving toward freedom and toward what feels like home. Trust that every small step they take is part of a larger movement that leads to a true meeting, a meeting of two whole people, not two halves trying to fix each other. Be gentle with your own heart while you wait. Your patience has been noble, but waiting without care can be painful. Keep your own life alive. Tend your own dreams. Keep practicing the things that bring you joy. The angels want you to remain active in your own healing and growth, not passive. Continue to love, but do not make waiting your whole life. Build habits, friendships, and small pleasures that remind you of your worth. Stay open to new blessings, even as you hold faith for this sacred return. Your life is being prepared too. The readiness you carry inside shapes what will come. When it is time for reunion, both of you should arrive whole enough to walk together with clarity. That is the promise the angels repeat. Come as your full self and meet the other with truth. Remember, this change was not born from anger. It was born from awakening. Your special person did not leave to spite anyone. They left because they needed to step into their own light. They needed to reclaim parts of themselves that had been given away for safety or approval. They needed to show up not as someone who pleases or performs, but as someone who belongs to their own heart. That belonging leads them to choices that honor both themselves and the people truly meant for them. Now that they have chosen, their steps will slowly weave back in the direction of what matters: integrity, clarity, and a love that allows both people to be seen and known. Justice and balance are also part of this story. Some knots that bound them were not fair. Some duties were taken on from fear rather than from free desire. At 11:11, the soul chose balance. They chose to correct an unfair pattern by giving themselves permission to stop living for others at the expense of their inner life. That is not selfishness. That is boundary and wisdom. When someone decides to live with integrity, it releases pressure for everyone involved. It allows other people to find clear paths too. Part of the courage of your special person was to set those healthy boundaries. When we set boundaries, we make space for real love to enter. Love that is mutual and free. You might still see echoes of the past in their life. Old habits may linger. There may be people who do not understand, moments of confusion, and days when the world looks unchanged. Those outer echoes can be noisy, and they can make you doubt. But know that the inner decision is the foundation, and where the foundation has been reset, the house will follow. Inner choices change outer events over time. The angels encourage you to keep perspective. Look for signs of slow, but steady growth rather than instant perfection. Celebrate each small sign of movement, a clearer message, a softer tone, a step taken in honesty. Those small things accumulate into real transformation. Your prayers are not rituals that failed. They are not whispers into empty air. Every time you whispered hope at 11:11 or reached out to spirit with quiet words, those prayers were part of the energetic pattern that supported this change. That does not mean the other person owes you immediate proof or rushes. It means your faith had a role. Your faith worked like a gentle wind at the back of a ship. It helped move things along. The angels give thanks for that faith. They say, "You were brave enough to believe without seeing." That kind of love matters more than we often realize. It carries weight in the invisible world. As this new chapter unfolds, hold the image of a reunion that is different from the past. Imagine coming together as two adults who have done their inner work. Imagine a relationship where both people can be honest, where both people can say what they need and listen when the other speaks. Imagine a love that does not ask one person to shrink so the other can feel safe. This is the aim of what has begun. The breaking of ties at 11:11 was the first clearing of the ground. The rest is work that both will need to do in time. But the angels promise that when two people arrive with truth, the love they build is far stronger and truer than what might have come from fear or compromise. Do not rush healing. Do not pressure yourself or the other. Healing often looks like small, steady steps. Sometimes it looks like silence that grows into clear talk. Sometimes it looks like messy attempts that slowly polish into care. The angels ask you to be patient but not passive. Be ready to speak from your heart when the time is right. Be ready to set boundaries that protect your peace. Be ready to forgive, not to forget or to allow harm again, but to free yourself from chains of resentment that hold you in the past. Forgiveness is not a gift only for the other. It is a gift for you. It opens your hand so that new blessings can be held. If fear still touches you, bring it gently to the light. Tell the angels about it. Tell a trusted friend, or write it in a notebook. Naming the fear reduces its power. Your heart has been brave. Reminded often of small truths. You are worthy. You are loved. You are not waiting in vain. Your history of patience is a testimony to your strength, not a weakness. You are allowed to hope and to build a life while you wait. You are allowed to demand respect for your own time and dignity. The angels support both your hope and your wise care for yourself. As this process continues, watch for signs that things are aligning. Fewer tangled obligations in their life, more clarity in their speech, and more willingness to show who they are. Notice if they take responsibility where it is needed. Notice if they do the inner work that builds a stable connection rather than drama. These signs will be slower and quieter than you might wish, but they are meaningful. Do not let impatience make you accept small proofs as complete. Keep watching with steady eyes. When a reunion happens, celebrate the smallness and the largeness of it. Celebrate the courage it took for both of you to arrive. Celebrate the patience and the choices that made it possible. Love that grows out of truth lasts longer and brings deeper satisfaction than love built on avoidance or need. That is the promise that the angels want you to keep in your heart. Finally, take care of your own daily life. The angels remind you that while spiritual timing is real, earthly life is also real. Tend to your work, your friends, your body, and your pleasures. Let the world around you be a place of joy as well as longing. When you live well now, you bring better energy into any future meeting. Living well also protects you from losing yourself in waiting. Cultivate hobbies, nurture friendships, and practice self-respect. These are not distractions. They are part of the sacred preparation. In simple terms, your special person did break ties at 11:11, and that step was important and sacred. It came from inner truth, not from anger. Your quiet faith helped that happen. Healing and rebuilding still lie ahead, but the heaviest barrier has been removed. Trust the process. Protect your heart, keep living fully, and be ready, not desperate, for the reunion that may come when both of you stand whole and honest. The angels walk with you both now. They bless your patience and your hope. They ask you to trust the gentle unfolding and to know that love, when born of truth, cannot be lost.